My name's Rachel Clark, so I'm a neighbourhood inspector for South Somerset. So I specifically cover the areas of Wincanton, Somerton, Crewkerne, Ilminster, and all the way down to Yeovil. But what I want to talk about is our specific neighbourhood teams across Somerset. So neighbourhood officers, police constables, and police community support officers, otherwise known as PCSOs, now they act as a key liaison point between local communities and policing. So publicly facing, they provide a visible, accessible and approachable uniform presence in our communities. They offer reassurance, diffuse situations with threats of conflict, gather information and foster good community relations. Neighbourhood officers, they work collaboratively to address community issues, using problem-solving methods and engagement. So by integrated working with a range of public and private partners, they build trust and confidence, and they have a really detailed understanding of their community. So what we consider to be the eyes and ears, certainly our workforce of our PCSOs who are visible in our communities, be it on foot, bike, vehicle. We've got a community contact vehicle, so they're very approachable. And as I said, they do have a very good understanding of their communities and their schools, and various other aspects of the beats that they work on. So safeguarding children is everyone's business. We have a statutory responsibility to safeguard children. The Children's Act states that a child's welfare is paramount. And the police have a central role in protecting and safeguarding children and preventing and investigating crime. Dedicated child protection officers receive specialist training, but all frontline officers have a crucial role to play in identifying and protecting children. So, as we said, there is lots of, obviously the specialist training available, but our dedicated community officers also have bespoke training schedules once a month where we have guest speakers. We've had our various internal departments such as Op Ruby coming along and talking to us and just enhancing that knowledge so they can harness that out in the communities and be observant and as informative as they can be, really. So in terms of our police powers, though, so I mentioned at the beginning we have PCs, which are neighbourhood constables, and our PCSOs. But it's the PCs that have the police powers. For police protection, it's an emergency power which enables any police officer to protect a child who is reasonably believed to be at risk of significant harm. Now, what we mean by significant harm could be ill treatment or impairment of health or development. Or that could be perhaps somebody that's suffered from seeing or hearing the ill treatment of another. Could be development, physical, emotional, social, or behavioural development, or physical or mental health, and sexual abuse and forms of ill treatment, which obviously are not physical. So those are the things in terms of significant harm. So Section 46 of the Children's Act 1989 empowers an officer to remove a child to suitable accommodation or prevent the removal of a child from a hospital or other place in which that child is being accommodated. So when these powers are exercised, the child is considered to be in police protection. But it's important to mention that no child may be kept in police protection for more than 72 hours. And that suitable accommodation usually means local authority, a children's home or foster care. A police premise is not suitable, but it can be used, but that's only in exceptional circumstances, such as a lack of immediate available accommodation. So, school engagement. This is our bread and butter for our neighbourhood teams across Somerset. Each neighbourhood team has a combination of, as I said, police constables and police community support officers, and they are managed by a sergeant and then an inspector. And each team has an identifiable school link officer, and primarily are our PCSO staff. So we do endeavour to offer an agreed level of service to both secondary schools and primary schools. So many of our priority children will attend pupil referral units, and as such, termly engagements will be facilitated to ensure regular support and management of risk outside the school setting. So throughout the officers will provide continual focus on engagement and prevention, intelligence, safeguarding, education and safety, and early intervention and diversion. Throughout our calendar year, we also have our national intensification weeks where there may be some focus on knife crime or county lives, for example. But that school engagement is something that they pride themselves with. They do receive additional training for that, and obviously I'll come to it, but they obviously do deliver lesson plans and such as well. So our roles in schools, as we said, so it's like we are really identifying those most at risk. We do deliver lesson plans. That's obviously in accordance with their curriculum and stuff. But we are really looking for any risk factors and any emerging trends as well with schools. We have links to the designated safeguarding leads in the schools, which obviously helps to facilitate, communication perhaps with families or us ourselves. Some of our officers do have what we call a hot desk in schools. And they run their own kind of beat surgeries, police surgeries, where pupils and staff can come up and speak with us. So as I said, we provide educational inputs into the schools in line with our force priorities. And we really provide that uniform presence within there, providing any enforcement where it's necessary. And each school has police engagement, and that really does strengthen that tie with the local community. And some of you may have seen us on our sort of local Facebook pages where I explain at the end. And we work with a whole school approach really to reduce victimization, criminality, and antisocial behavior within schools and the local community, just to ensure that each school has a really good, safe learning environment. Fundamentally, we do identify children and young people who are at risk or potentially at risk, for whom there is any concern for their welfare, and obviously we will refer to children's services. And we contribute to and support partner intervention work with children and, of course, young people. This diagram here just gives a little indication of some of the work we do in the community. We do much more. Our school's input is a tip of the iceberg, really, in terms of our engagement, as you'll see, working with various different strands of the community, schools, community meetings, retail meetings, our youth groups, and then obviously we go out to more widely sort of summer events and yearly events that happen, just to really engage with the public, because fundamentally our work is really centered around problem solving and engagement. We do have a couple of particular meetings. They are called one-team meetings and priorities. Now, they are localized to different areas in Somerset, where they deal with our most priority cases. People that work with us in those meetings are some of our key partners for our community safety teams and the councils and our housing associations, who we work very closely with. Now, those meetings are scheduled, and obviously if there's a need or greater need for something to be dealt with on a more urgent basis, then we would have that ad hoc multi-agency meeting. So we do engage, obviously, that partnership working with schools, housing is key and critical to our engagement and problem solving work. So in terms of contacting us, we have our designated now Facebook pages. So within Somerset, we've got South Somerset Neighbourhood Policing, Mendip, North Somerset, West Somerset and Taunton, and Sedgemoor. So on those Facebook pages, you'll see the officers, you'll see the engagement, you'll see where they're patrolling, what have they been doing, what issues they're tackling at the moment. So that's a little bit of a current and a live view. But also, you can go into our Avon and Somerset Main Constabulary website, and if you go into your area and put in your where you live, it'll bring up the local team to you with pictures and some of their priorities that they're working towards. And we really want to make the engagement, and because our digital age is ever growing, and we do fully appreciate that some people aren't able to come and see us in person, aren't able to come to some of our community events, but some of those Facebook pages and our beat pages really are our shop window, and that's where you can get in touch with us.